going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to another match day, Don't worry. Yeah, you're not late. I'm not on my way to another game. Yeah, I know some of you lot got faked out. I thought, wait, what's going on? We're on our way back down from yesterday's game. And I just thought, you know what? Not everything has to be perfect. Not everything has to be, you know, in a studio setting. You got to mix it up sometimes. And I know you guys like when we're out and about as well. So it's not a road trip in terms of a match day road trip. It's not that. But in terms of today's latest Man United update, it kind of is a road trip. That's what I want to do here on United View, man. If I want to think of something off the cuff and just make it happen, then we just make it happen. It's that simple. And I know you guys really enjoy this. And it's nice to just, you know, Josh is here. Good, Josh?
Yeah.
I thought, you know what I mean, while we got a 3-hour drive back down south, let's do something. And there was some stuff I wanted to talk about, actually. I want to see if you guys agree. You know, when it's quiet in the news, and it's not about transfers and all this stuff and just hypothetical news, there was stuff that Ralf Rangnick actually did say in his post-match stuff that just got me thinking, and I want to kind of bring it up today. As you can see, guys, Ralf Rangnick's Mason Greenwood plan, Rangnick's Greenwood plan. Now, in his press conference at the end of the game, or in his post-match interviews, he said that Mason is obviously technically really good. He's fantastic. He's brilliant technically, but he needs developing physically. And look, I know there's the basic way of looking at it, which is obviously flex. He's only 19/20. He's going to take a lot of time, and I agree with that. But I just delved a little bit more into it. The comments just stuck with me, and I was like, what he's actually saying is, and this is meant in the best term possible, is that Mason isn't quite there yet to lead the line game in, game out. And we know that as fans, and we've been knowing that as fans, and it just got me thinking of, I think under Ollie, yes, you got to be patient, but Mason was playing a lot of games and warranting it at times, and at other times were looking a little bit in and out of games. And I think yesterday, in terms of leading the line, you know, someone said he was a class above. I think it was Marcel. And, you know, in terms of finishing and being in the right positions, fantastic. Look at the goal he scored yesterday. But Ralf spoke about him needing to work on him physically. And it was like, now there seems like there's a definitive plan. And it was like Ralf was trying to say, you know what? Let's just tame it in a little bit. First of all, he said it's good to have Mason back, and, you know, he needs to earn his spot. So it was good to have him coming off the bench against Crystal Palace. He gets the goal. And we want him fighting for his position. He scores a fantastic goal yesterday, and it's almost like Ralf was just reminding us that physically he's not there yet, and like they wanted to focus on that on the training ground, in the gym. Obviously, with age, he's going to fill out, and he was kind of basically saying that he's not quite ready to lead the line yet on a consistent basis. Which, look, that's not a bad thing. That's a self-explanatory thing. But I did pick up on it, and I was like, you know what? He's right. You know, I think in that game yesterday, you could see the other stuff that Mason still has, that naivety side to his game because he's young and inexperienced, and as a number 9. He compared him to Haaland as well when somebody asked him about, you know, Mason Greenwood and Haaland, and he said, look, Haaland is an out-and-out target man, out-and-out number 9, big in stature, you know, big, broad shoulders, tall, athletic, and whereas Mason, he actually said Mason is a 9.5. Mason is a 9.5 because he can come from wide positions and he can play in the centre of the pitch. And it just made me think, you know what? Under Rangnick, it could be. We said that before, players like Sancho, Rashford, and especially Greenwood, they're going to thrive under this manager. And already, he's kind of. I hate to keep going back to Ollie, but it's like, instead of just saying he's our star boy, he's our poster boy, which he is to us, Ralph's coming in with the view of, okay, this kid's fantastic. I want to develop him to be the best version of himself. And I'm not saying Ollie didn't want to do that, because of course he did. But already you can see that the method of doing that with Mason is going to be different to how Ralf is going to do it. You know, I don't think he's going to be starting all the games. You know, we were saying in the fan views that it'll be good right now how Rashford is a little bit up and down. You know, maybe Mason can push him. He's pushing him for a starting spot. I said yesterday in my match reaction that, you know, he's knocking on Ralph's door, and he certainly is doing that. But what I don't think Ralf Rangnick will do is go, okay, he scored a couple goals, that you're going to start all of the games. You're going to start all of the games, and, you know, we're going to hang all our hopes on you and thrust you in like that. I think he wants to bed him in slowly, even though Mason's got a hell of a lot of appearances for his age and goals. So I just liked it. I just liked the fact that he was saying, look, remember, Mason still needs to develop physically. We all want him to play much more. I wanted to play much more, and it's like, as a fan, we get we get on that and we want him to play as much games as possible, as quickly as possible. But we forget he's still filling out. He's still not quite there yet. And it was just so refreshing to hear Ralf Rangnick speak about, you know, the physical side of Mason's game. A couple of the young lads last night, you look at Elanga and Ahmad, they were a little bit lightweight at times, which is going to happen. They're playing men's football, especially to the likes of Elanga, who's coming out of the youth setup. I know that Ahmad's been playing at men's football a little bit longer through Atalanta, but you're going to get that. But with Mason, under Oli, when Alexis and Lukaku left, he said, you know, everyone was saying, oh, he's not going to get a striker. And he said, don't worry, Mason will score goals. And Oli done really well to give him the confidence and bring him in. And in that first season, what did he hit? 17 odd goals in all competitions. It was really good. The second season, it was a little bit more up and down, wasn't it? During COVID as well. And I felt like there was an over-reliance on Mason. And what's interesting now is, yes, because we've got the firepower in terms of Cavani, you've added Ronaldo, obviously Martial's there, Rashford's back now, and there's two striker spots. There shouldn't be an over-reliance on him, but I do feel like there was, whether it's from playing wide right. You know, when Dan James was there, we could see the quality that was in Mason Greenwood over him. There was no Sancho at the time. So a lot of it was on Mason to produce, and I feel like now he just doesn't have to be at the forefront of making things happen, and I think that's actually going to help him in the long run. It's going to keep him fresh, it's going to keep him on his toes, it's going to keep him even more hungry than he was before, because there's a lot more competition for places, but also it's going to give Mason that time he needs to kind of to bulk out and to have that time to develop physically, do you know? And I just liked how Ralf Rangnick was saying, talking about that. Let me know what you guys think about Mason, you know, and what Ralf Rangnick was saying. You might look at this video and say, you know what, Flex, I think you're being over analytical there. You know, Ralf was just saying it because of course Mason's young, and I get that, but I just kind of likened it to how we were using Mason before, and hearing Ralf speak about him twice now. Once after the what do you call it game, the Crystal Palace game, when he was basically saying, you know, he's coming back from COVID. I want to work with him. It's good to have him, you know, he has to earn, he said he has to earn, you know, the right to play through training, and it was good to have him coming off the bench. Then he gets to start in this game, which was always going to happen, and he scores a fantastic goal. He put on a chance for one matter that probably should have made it 2-0 at the time, and then showed other little bits of his game in terms of the lack of physicality that we know will come. So let me know if you think I'm going extra, or you think there is going to be a different plan, and actually it's going to be better for Mason Greenwood, because I think that's important to talk about. And another thing on Ralf Rangnick is, like, when you just hear him speak and break things down, it was good to see him say that I wasn't completely happy. I wouldn't say happy, but it was okay. And I spoke to someone today, and they were saying, is it a little bit of a concern that he was saying that, you know, basically hoof it long, because we were playing like short 5-yard passes and letting young boys gain on us in terms of a press. And I kind of responded back to my friend and I said, well, no, I don't think it is. I think that instruction would have been to this young team that he hasn't worked with very long, to say, look, they're applying, we haven't worked on counter pressing as much as I'd like to yet. So don't try and play those little 5-yard passes in and around our box. You know, get them turned, get up so that we can counter press in that way, and then flip it on them and then keep them penned in. But Ralf Rangnick spoke yesterday about how he wasn't happy with the pressing and the intensity and the control of the game, which is fine, but it wasn't about that. It was about giving the youngsters a chance and the French players a chance. We were already through. But it was just interesting to hear him say that, and so refreshing to hear him basically not accept mediocrity. You know, under the other regime, under Oli, if it was Phelan talking or Carrick or whatever, you would have got a lot of, you know, the lads worked hard and we'll go again next week, and you know, it's all about who wants it. You know, it was a tactical. I just love hearing the tactical breakdown from Ralf Rangnick, to be honest with you. I just feel like that is the perfect way to dissect games. It's refreshing. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when we play against more difficult teams, the bigger teams away from home. How do we set up when we do play City away, Liverpool away, Arsenal away, Tottenham at home? You know, what happens in these games? How do we set up? So there's a long way to go under Ralf Rangnick. And lastly, I wanted to touch on Jesse Lingard. There was a little bit out there. Duncan Castles was saying that he's been offered a 200 grand a week contract by Newcastle. Look, Jesse didn't have the best of games yesterday. I thought he was quite sloppy on the ball. That's neither here nor there. He hasn't played in a bit. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in January with Jesse. Look, he's not going to play for me. I don't see him forcing his way into Rangnick's plans. Will Jesse think, let me stay to the end of the season because another new manager's going to come, or I fancy my chances getting in this team? Maybe he will, I don't know. But you know, after speaking to Nicky from West Ham TV, he said a couple of months ago when he was on the overview with myself, he said he expected Jesse Lingard to go to West Ham. You know, he still stands by that. You got Newcastle sniffing around now. So look, I think there's something in that. I think he will get a move. I really do think he'll get a move. I think it's best for him as well to go and play. It was difficult watching it yesterday at times. You know, him, Mata, and Donny in the midfield three just didn't work, did it? We had no control over the game for various reasons. And look, they're ring rusty. They're ring rusty. They haven't played football in a long while, especially Mata. So look, I think Jesse, I think he'll probably get his move. I don't think that Lingard is going to want to go into a relegation fight though. You know, West Ham are fighting on all fronts. They have to be taken seriously for the top four. You know, they're outperforming a lot of teams and they're performing really well, and he would slot in like a glove in that West Ham front three or that forward line, no doubt. Is Jesse Lingard? Yes, the money situation, he's going to get more money signing for Newcastle at this point in time. Is he going to want to go knowing that they could be in a championship? You know, is he going to want to have to insert a clause into his contract that says, okay, but if we go down, I'm out? Like, I think he'll probably rather find a home, rather go and play knowing that it's a long-term thing. West Ham just suits him, and I don't want to do a Gabriel Agbonlahor, but he was saying about players who might want to prefer to be in London rather than way up north in Newcastle. Big up Jamal, he did it, so it does happen. But you know, maybe Jesse's experienced London already. He spent some time down there, obviously, when he's on loan. I could see him picking London over Newcastle for all the reasons I've just listed. Little something different, short, sharp, and sweet. You know what I mean? Not every minute, hours and hours talking and stuff like that. Sometimes just get to the point, say what you got to say, and you guys can just take it in. You know, if you're watching at work or you're driving back and you just want to hear a little quick 10-minute video, 15-minute video, and get your thoughts on it, then that's what this is. And I want to start doing more of that, little short, sharp stuff, so you guys can get.
All right, get to the point.
Get to the point. Exactly. Let us know what you feel. In fact, actually, I like the sound of my voice. I'm going to keep going for another 15 minutes.
Man.
For no reason. Should we do that, Josh?
Go on then.
Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you lot are new, and drop your views in the comments in the boxes below. Nearly 92k now as well. We're on our way, man. 100k pending. Peace.